Have you ever noticed that the people who seem to get success the fastest are the ones who also disappear the fastest? Meanwhile, the people who spend years quietly building something eventually become impossible to ignore. And that's because the things that usually last take the longest to build. We see these people online with quick success and we start to compare ourselves because we're the same age, but we're living two completely different lives. We hear about these overnight success stories and we start to feel badly about ourselves. But 10 years down the line, do they still have the same motion as they did previously? A lot of the times, the answer is no. We start to compare ourselves, feel behind, and wonder if our efforts in life even have meaning. And I actually think that most of us aren't afraid of hard work, as the boomers like to say about Gen Z. What I think we are afraid of is working hard for years and having nothing to show for it. We see people our age getting rich quickly. We see people our age being able to buy houses. I'm 20, about to be 21 in 2 months. And I see people my age being able to afford houses and becoming multimillionaires. And I'm just like, what the heck? And naturally, that makes me start thinking, why is it taking me so long? Am I doing something wrong? Am I falling behind? Is all my work and effort for nothing? As I'm sure many of you guys have these thoughts as well. And then, after going through this thought process, we face the temptation to abandon the slow path, which is usually the right path, in order to have long term success, just to chase whatever seems to be working now or what is trendy. But trends actually come and go. So when the people get success off these trends, when the trends leave, so do they. And people tend to confuse visible results with real foundation. There must be a firm foundation for something to stand on in order for it to last long. However, a lot of my generation don't take this into consideration because it's always about how can I get what I want the quickest. And here's the reality though, we only see the fruit, we rarely ever see the roots. We see the success, we don't see the years actually spent failing and learning and building. It's like when there's an apple tree. We don't see the months or years it took for the tree to grow and develop its roots and structure and foundation. What we see is the apple. Before the apple came about on the tree, no one cared. Now, everyone is fascinated by the tree because of the apples, because of its fruits. And the reason meaningful things take longer isn't because the system or the process is broken, it's because substance takes time. Character takes time. You have to transform yourself into the person to become what you want to receive in life. Trust takes time. Mastery takes time. Competence takes time. Things that are built to last require real foundations deep enough to support the weight of their future. Anything can grow fast, but not everything can endure. And growing up, my parents would always tell me this quote: the race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure it. And with that being said, here are some actionable and realistic things to fix this. Number one, stop measuring yourself by speed. Ask yourself, am I building something real, something with substance? Instead of asking yourself, why isn't this happening faster? Quality over quantity. In the long run, this will be more beneficial for you than quantity or speed over quality. Number 2, fall in love with repetition. This is honestly one of the best things that you can do for your life. The most meaningful goals are achieved through boring discipline and consistency. The ordinary, mundane days compound, and it's similar to compound interest with money. The magic happens through those mundane days. Fall in love with the journey and the process, not the outcome. And that brings us into the third step: measure your inputs, not your outcomes. Focus on how you are contributing to your goals. Focus on planting the seeds instead of asking, how much fruit did I get from the tree? For example, instead of asking yourself if you have the $1 million you desire, ask yourself if you showed up for yourself today to work towards earning that $1 million. And number 4, lastly, think long term, not short term. Think in years, not weeks. Think in quarters, not days. A lot of people tend to quit something that would have worked just because they judged a 5-year process after 5 months or even 5 weeks. When you think long term, you are more focused on the inputs of what the goal requires, so that when you get there, you can see the fruits. When you get to that point, you will have known that you have done everything in your power and to the best of your capabilities to achieve said goal, because you are focused on the inputs, on compounding your actions to work towards that goal. And to finally bring the point home, imagine planting a seed, then digging up the seed every week to see if it's growing. That's basically what we do with our goals. We become so obsessed with seeing results that we interrupt the process that will produce said results we desire. And the slow path is not always exciting. It's not always visible. You're not gonna get praise for it. But if you're building something meaningful, don't be discouraged by how long it's taking. Deep roots take time, and things that last are rarely ever rushed. So if you're in a season where it feels like nothing is happening, don't mistake that invisibility for failure. Just because people can't see the roots doesn't mean they aren't growing. It takes time. The people who last the longest are usually the people who spend the most time building beneath the surface. And maybe that's why so many overnight success stories disappear just as quickly as they arrive. Because what grows fast gets attention, but what grows deeply creates a legacy. So stop digging up the seed to check if it's growing. Instead, water it, protect it, show up tomorrow, and then again the next day. And years from now, the thing you're building today may become impossible to ignore. The slow path isn't the exciting path, but the slow path is the lasting path. And in a world obsessed with speed and quantity, sometimes the biggest advantage you can have is being willing to stay in the race longer than everyone else. And that's all I really have for today. And I hope that this was helpful. I hope it was positively impactful in some way and you learned something, you gained something from this. And I thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.